Hey Cowboys Nation! Today, we're diving into a huge question facing Dallas as we head into Week 11. Can CeeDee Lamb be the hero this offense needs against the Houston Texans? With Dak Prescott out and our offense struggling, all eyes are on Lamb to step up and deliver. Before we get started, if you're excited about the Cowboys getting back on track and want the latest insights and updates, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We've got you covered every step of the way. Alright, let's get into it. There's no way around it, folks. The Cowboys' offense is hurting right now. After last week's game against the Philadelphia Eagles, where we saw the first full game without Prescott, it was clear that our offense needs a spark. Cooper Rush and Trey Lance gave it their best, but the stats tell a tough story. Between them, Rush and Lance combined for just 66 passing yards, averaging a shocking 2.3 yards per attempt. To put that in perspective, Dak's lowest yards per completion this season was still 5.4, and that was considered an off day. So where do we go from here? Well, the answer seems to lie in one person, CeeDee Lamb. Dallas will need to lean heavily on their all-pro wide receiver if they have any chance of pulling off a win against the Texans. But what does that look like? And what are the realistic chances that Lamb can carry this offense? Let's talk about why Lamb is uniquely qualified to take on this challenge. The Cowboys extended his contract before the season began with a whopping $136 million deal. The team knew they were investing in one of the league's top talents, and now it's time for Lamb to show just how valuable he is. Lamb's skills are undeniable. He's fast, he's elusive, and his yards after catch abilities can turn a short pass into a big play in an instant. At just 25 years old, he's already proven he can be a game changer, but he's had his ups and downs this season. There have been a few sideline moments where he and Prescott looked out of sync, and he's had some inconsistency in his yardage compared to previous seasons. Yet, we all know the level Lamb can reach when he's fully locked in. This week, Dallas needs to make Lamb the focal point of their game plan, and that means getting him involved early and often. We're talking about screen passes, quick slants, and maybe even some trick plays to get the ball in his hands as much as possible. When Lamb is in rhythm, he can light up a defense and give this struggling Cowboys offense the boost it so desperately needs. Of course, it's not as simple as giving Lamb the ball and calling it a day. The Houston Texans defense is a serious obstacle. Right now, they're ranked third in yards allowed per game and seventh in passing yards allowed per game, which is no joke. This is a defense that knows how to shut down their opponents, and they'll be prepared to challenge the Cowboys offense at every turn. With Prescott out, the Texans know we're going to be relying on Lamb, which means they'll likely double-team him or adjust their coverage to make things even harder. This isn't an easy task for Lamb or for any wide receiver in his position. And after last week's struggles, we have to wonder, if Dallas couldn't get the ball to Lamb against the Eagles, can they really expect to break through a defense like Houston's? It's a tough question, and it highlights just how tall of an order this game is for Dallas. The Texans will come into this game with confidence, knowing they're up against a team with a weakened defense. And playing away doesn't make it any easier for the Cowboys. Now, we can't talk about the offensive game plan without addressing the quarterback position. Cooper Rush has been a solid backup for Dallas, stepping up when needed, but expecting him to perform at a Dak Prescott level might be too much. While Rush has shown he can manage games, he isn't known for making game-changing plays, and his limitations were on full display against Philadelphia. That said, if Rush can focus on one thing, finding Lamb as often as possible, it could open up the field for other players as well. We need Rush to be accurate, to make smart decisions, and to not force the ball, even when the pressure is on. This is a lot to ask, but the team's chances rest heavily on how Rush can handle the pressure. And let's not forget Trey Lance, who's also in the mix. While Lance hasn't had much playing time with Dallas, there's a chance we could see him take a few snaps if things aren't working with Rush. Lance's athleticism offers some different play-calling options, and he could be a wild card if the Cowboys decide to shake things up mid-game. But regardless of who's under center, the game plan needs to stay focused on making CeeDee Lamb the focal point. It's going to be a challenging game for Lamb, no doubt about it. He's going up against one of the league's best defenses, and he'll be playing without his star quarterback. But here's why I believe Lamb has a shot to make a real impact. Lamb is one of those players who thrives under pressure. We've seen him make unbelievable catches and game-changing plays when the stakes are high, and there's no question he'll give it everything he's got in Week 11. If Lamb can get the ball enough, he could start to wear down the Texans' defense. That could open things up for other players, like Tony Pollard or Michael Gallup, to get involved. Lamb has the talent, the drive, and the leadership to help turn things around, and he'll need all of it if he's going to save this offense. Now, let's address the other side of the coin. What happens if Lamb can't overcome these obstacles? The reality is, we may be looking at another low-scoring game if the Cowboys' offense can't break out of this slump. A loss against the Texans would put Dallas in a difficult spot, and with McCarthy's future uncertain, the team might have to make some big decisions about the offense as we move toward the end of the season. If Lamb struggles, it'll likely raise questions about the rest of the team's roster decisions, play calling, and overall strategy. The Cowboys might need to consider bringing in more offensive weapons or finding ways to get more creative on offense. But for now, all eyes are on Week 11 and whether CeeDee Lamb can be the game-changer Dallas needs. This season has been a tough one for the Cowboys' offense, and the numbers don't lie. We're currently averaging only 19.7 points per game, with a third-down conversion rate of just 35.9%, and our red zone touchdown rate is at a painful 41.7%. To put it simply, these stats mark the lowest points in McCarthy's head coaching career. It's been a real struggle to get things moving, and it shows on the scoreboard week after week. But despite all of these issues, McCarthy has stood firmly by his offensive system. He believes in his process, in the need to tailor plays to fit the players, and in sticking with what the team has committed to. As he explained, this is not a "we need to go change" situation. We need to be better at the things we're committed to. In other words, McCarthy is saying it's not about reinventing the wheel, it's about making it turn more effectively. However, while McCarthy publicly expressed confidence in his system, he did decide it was time for a shakeup, and that's where Rico Dowdle comes in. The decision: Rico Dowdle takes over as lead back. Yes, you heard it right. Mike McCarthy announced that Rico Dowdle will be the lead running back heading into Monday night's showdown with the Texans. This is big news for both Cowboys fans and fantasy football players who have been calling for this change all season. The Cowboys running back committee experiment is officially over, and Dowdle has earned the primary role. Here's what McCarthy had to say: "Definitely, you have to get him the ball. That's my focus, to continue to get him opportunities. He's the lead back." This shift signals a serious shift in strategy and a vote of confidence in Dowdle's abilities. For those of you who might be wondering why Dowdle, let's look at the numbers. Dowdle has been the most efficient back in the Cowboys rotation, racking up 374 rushing yards at an impressive 4.5 yards per carry. On top of that, he's added another 166 yards and 3 touchdowns on just 24 receptions. Compare that to Ezekiel Elliott, Hunter Luepke, and Dalvin Cook, who have struggled this season, with Elliott and Luepke averaging just 3.2 yards per carry and Cook averaging a meager 2.5 yards per carry. Dowdle's performance speaks for itself, and McCarthy has decided to make him the focal point of the Cowboys' running game. Switching up the primary running back is a significant change, and it's one that could help the Cowboys build a more consistent and reliable offense. With Dak Prescott out, the team has been struggling to find its rhythm, and while Cooper Rush and Trey Lance have stepped in, they haven't been able to fill Prescott's shoes completely. The offense needs someone who can step up and make plays, and with Dowdle's explosive running style and efficiency, he could be exactly what the Cowboys need. By establishing Dowdle as the lead back, the Cowboys can focus on a more straightforward approach that allows them to control the clock and grind out tough yards. With his consistency in both the run game and his ability to catch passes out of the backfield, Dowdle has the potential to open up new options for Rush or Lance. A solid run game could also relieve some of the pressure on CeeDee Lamb and the rest of the receiving corps, giving the offense a more balanced look and making it harder for defenses to predict what's coming. With Dowdle taking the lead, this shift also raises questions about how McCarthy plans to use Elliott, Cook, and Luepke going forward. Elliott has been a cornerstone of the Cowboys for years, but his production has clearly dropped this season, and with just 3.2 yards per carry, he's no longer the dominant back he once was. Cook, brought in with high hopes, has struggled even more, with his 2.5 yards per carry failing to make the impact the team anticipated. Luepke, though a reliable rotational player, hasn't shown the explosiveness needed to carry the offense. These three backs will now likely see reduced roles, used in specific situations rather than as regular rotation players. Elliott and Luepke may still be valuable in short yardage situations or as blockers, but the Cowboys' decision to focus on Dowdle suggests that McCarthy wants a more dynamic and reliable lead back who can handle the bulk of the workload. As we look ahead to the Texans matchup, it's clear that shifting to Dowdle as the lead back won't magically solve all of Dallas' offensive struggles. The Texans' defense is strong, particularly when it comes to defending the run, and they rank among the top in the league in fewest yards allowed per game. Dowdle will have his work cut out for him, facing a defense that knows how to close gaps and stuff running lanes. The Cowboys can't rely on Dowdle alone to carry the offense. The whole unit will need to step up, including the offensive line, receivers, and the quarterbacks. For Dowdle, this is a huge opportunity to showcase his abilities on a larger stage. But it's also a high-pressure moment, as he'll be expected to produce immediately. If he can rise to the occasion, Dowdle could not only help salvage this season for the Cowboys, but also solidify his future as a key player in Dallas offense. Alright, Cowboys Nation, now it's your turn. Can CeeDee Lamb be the hero this offense needs in Week 11, or are the Texans' defense and our quarterback issues too much to overcome? Will Cooper Rush be able to step up and deliver, or is it time to look for new answers in our offensive playbook? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear what you think about Lamb's chances and how you think Dallas should approach this critical game. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any Cowboys updates. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Go Cowboys!